Washington, D.C. In fact, Paddy Culhane has been monitoring events from afar and also reaction there in the United States. What news so far?
So far, no news. I should point out our White House producer, Christopher Sheridan, has reached directly out to John Kirby, the national security spokesman. So hopefully we'll hear something soon. But my initial take is, in many ways, this decision could not be worse for the United States because it doesn't call for an immediate ceasefire. And that's something that the U.S. has said consistently that they don't support. What it does call for is what the U.S. has been calling for, an end to the mass bombardment, what the president himself described as indiscriminate bombing. They've been saying they need to go to more targeted operations, not targeting civilians, which is what this order calls for them to do. It says Israel needs to let more aid into Gaza, the exact same thing that the Biden administration has been asking for. So if this comes to a Security Council decision, because as we know, the ICJ doesn't have any enforcement powers, if someone brings it up to the UN Security Council, is the U.S. going to be able to veto exactly what they've been calling for Israel to do? Now, the way they might be able to do that, as they have in the past, is since the beginning of this case, they've been calling it meritless, saying that it distracts from the real mission, which is getting out the captives, and that it is a distraction and counterproductive and completely without any basis in fact. So while it might seem hard for the U.S. to come forward and veto this calls for them to do exactly what the U.S. has been calling for them to do, they might be able to say, well, the whole process was flawed, meritless, we don't believe it, there is no genocide in Palestine. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they're going to react. It's probably not going to come out anytime soon, because you can bet the people in the building behind me are trying to figure that out right now. But as soon as we do hear something, I'll let you know.
Great, Paddy. We'll be back with you just as soon